Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, we know the story about Mary Black, and she's threatening to resign on the eve of the Rutherglen by-election because her chum and staffer, Robert Innes, failed to pass the vetting procedure to run in her place as an MP. Now, you have to wonder what you have to do in order to fail the vetting process to represent the SNP, because there is a councillor who was suspended for using abhorrent language, racist terms, and she now has been cleared and is able to stand as a potential MP at the general election. Now, she used, and obviously I can't say it because I'll be off YouTube as quick as you like, the N word to describe black people multiple times, and still has been cleared to stand as an SNP MP. Now, we understand that this is a word used in hate, and so with the SNP being so deeply vested in that particular emotion, in hate, it's not really a surprise, because obviously the more you can hate, the better you are, and the further you go in the SNP. Take that which you hate and make them hate it stronger is the mantra. But this woman, whose name is Julie Detbarn, Detbarn sounds like a bank, doesn't it? So, are you in trouble and you need finance? Come to Detbarn. Anyway, she has been she's been suspended, but then she's been sort of allowed back in, and now she's been cleared to stand as an MP. We're going to take a look at this, but it makes you wonder how bad Robert Innes must be if this woman was cleared. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Anyway, here goes. So, SNP councillor, who was suspended for abhorrent racist language, cleared to stand in general election. It's a joke, isn't it? The senior Nat, who was found to have used the N-word in an online post, has made it through the selection process and will be in the running for a spot as a Nat MP. As I say, makes you wonder how bad Innes was, doesn't it? And there she is. She looks the sort, doesn't she? Another one. What is it about these Nat SNP MPs? They all end up looking like Alex Salmond, don't they? One way or another. Never passed a Greggs, has she? Anyway, an SNP councillor has been approved by the party to be selected as a candidate in the upcoming general election, despite having a suspension on their record for using racist language online. Party bosses have cleared Julie Detbarn for the list of approved candidates in the new Central Ayrshire constituency. Unlikely to win it, though. However, critics say the SNP have serious questions to answer. In 2018, Ms Detbarn was suspended for the party after saying she felt like a N in a woodpile in a social media post. Now, I understand it's a term. We all know, and we all know all the words. And whatever you say that goes on in here is your own business. But you never let it come out of here. And not in public. And you never, ever commit it to the internet, because the internet is forever. If she ever thought that wasn't going to come back and haunt her, then she's a moron. But then she is in the SNP, so that's taken as read anyway. But, you can't say that thing in this day and age. It's bad. It's really bad. Anyway, since then, she's gone back to her council role, hosting an event in the SNP conference and passed the vetting process. How? Scottish Tory MSP Brian Whittle said, only a few years ago, they suspended this councillor for using abhorrent racist language in an online post. Now, she has clearly been welcomed back into the nationalist fold, given she's also seeking nomination to be one of their general election candidates. Asked about her past comments, Ms Detbarn said she deeply regretted her choice of words, and the SNP has refused to comment. Now, I will be fair. We all have done and said things. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's come out and you know it's wrong and that, and you don't get cancelled forever. You do your penance, right? And she did her penance by a suspension, and she was welcomed back to the party, and that's fine. You've been a naughty girl, whatever. But you've got to take it that some things, whilst you can be welcomed back and people can overlook it, you can't be rewarded like you could have been before. You've got to accept that this will be something that will be hurled against you time and time again, and you've got to accept it. And so don't put yourself in the position where they can weaponize your words. And that's what this woman has done. She's made the mistake, and she has made the mistake. I don't believe that she's particularly racist like that. I don't believe that. I choose to believe that she just said something thoughtlessly, mindlessly, just typed out and didn't realise after she'd done it. By then, of course, it's far too late. It's out there. It lives forever. But that said, you can't then make her an MP. Because if she becomes an MP, let's say she does become an MP, everyone who doesn't like what she says can keep bringing this up and bringing this up and bringing this up. She won't be able to do her work because of what the one post she's made. So it isn't good for her constituents to have her as an MP because she just won't be able to function properly. Anyway, she said she deeply regretted her choice of words, and the SNPs refused to comment, as we said. At the time, the backlash was so severe, she deleted her Facebook account and resigned from her job as chair of South Ayrshire Council Health and Social Care Partnership. Quite right. Did she resign, or was she asked to resign? You have to wonder that one. Mr. Whittle added, the SNP have serious questions to answer over why this particular individual has been given a platform on the main stage at their party conference. He said only a few years ago they suspended the council for this, and now she's clearly been welcomed back into the fold, and given that she's also seeking... Oh, we've done that bit. That's another... Yes, okay, they've repeated themselves. The standard of journalism in this day and age is absolutely appalling. Mind you, chances are it's probably written by an artificial intelligence, isn't it? Because there's very little real intelligence around these days. Anyway, the public will be wondering what justification there is for the SNP to deem her an appropriate person to make a comeback, to the extent she could ultimately represent them as an MP, which is what I've just mentioned. Do you want this woman representing you as an MP? And I think a lot of people will probably say no. Anyway, after being approached by the Scottish Sun, Miss Detbarn said, I deeply regret the entirely unacceptable phrase I used several years ago. It was wrong, and that's why I apologised. Fine. Move on. But you can't become an MP now. You understand that. You can't be a representative at that level. Posting on Facebook last month, she told followers she was delighted to confirm that I have been nominated to take part in the selection contest for the constituency, adding that she would work me socks off for whoever the members choose to be their new candidate. Mr. Detbarn is currently an SNP councillor in South Ayrshire and sits on the council's integration joint board, whatever that means. An SNP spokesman said, we do not comment on internal processes. No, but you bloody well ought to comment on the fact that a woman who's made a terrible comment like that is now going to want to represent you. Is that allowable? That is something you most definitely should be commenting on. But they're not, because it's like anything else. They're lifting up the carpet and they're shoving it under. They need a bigger carpet. She's a big old girl, isn't she? But hey, that's what it is. It's their choice. They want her nominated. That's fine. Doesn't mean that the people will pick her. And given the way it's going, seems unlikely she will ever be an MP. Now, especially now that people know exactly what she is. Still, there we go. That's the SNP. I shall stop now. I shall come up. We shall finish the video. Silly woman. The bar must be set very, very low in the SNP, if you can pass vetting like that. Goes to show, Innes must have been, limboing his way under it. But this woman to pass the vetting procedure and be allowed to stand, it makes you wonder who else has done things. What are the others like? What have people done that they're covering up? Because if they're letting this through, there must be some awful stuff gone through as well. It makes me head whirl. It really, truly does, that this is acceptable. This is seen as acceptable and seen as someone who they then go on to say, yeah, you can become an MP. Mind-blowing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and be very careful what you write down on the internet, because it is forever. Bye.